Let's be honest. Success isn't what most people think it is. It's not a lucky break. It's not a perfect plan. It's not something that magically happens when the time is right. Success is brutal. It's raw. It demands more from you than you ever thought possible. And that's why most people never reach it. Right now, you might feel stuck. You've tried to move forward, but nothing seems to change. You start strong, then hit a wall. You tell yourself, maybe later, maybe next time. But let me tell you something, there is no next time. The truth is, you're either moving towards success or you're standing still, watching others pass you by. Most people never achieve their goals, not because they aren't capable, but because they aren't willing to face the truth. The truth that success isn't handed out, it's taken. The truth that your dreams will cost you comfort, sleep, and the life you're used to. This is your wake-up call. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more hoping that one day things will magically change. Success doesn't wait. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't care about your fears or your doubts. It only responds to one thing: action. So the question is, are you ready to face the truth, or will you keep running from it? Because once you know what it really takes, you only have two choices: step up and do the work, or accept that nothing will ever change. Let's get into it. No one is coming. Let that sink in. No one is coming to pull you out of your struggles. No one is coming to fix your problems. No one is going to show up and magically make your dreams a reality. That's the truth that most people never accept. And because they never accept it, they stay stuck. People wait. They wait for the right moment. They wait for someone to believe in them. They wait for a sign that tells them it's time to start. But waiting is the fastest way to waste your life. While you're waiting, someone else is out there making it happen. It's easy to believe that success happens because of luck, connections, or the right circumstances. But that's just an excuse. The only difference between those who make it and those who don't is that one group stops waiting and starts working. Life is a battlefield. Some people sit there, hoping someone will come along and rescue them. Others pick up their sword and start fighting. Here's the truth: if you don't take full ownership of your life, you will spend it blaming everything but yourself. Yes, life is unfair. Yes, you've had struggles that others haven't, but sitting around complaining about it won't change anything. The only way forward is to take responsibility for where you are and take action to change it. It won't be easy, it won't be comfortable, but that's the price of success. So from this moment on, stop waiting. Stop looking for someone to show you the way. No mentor, no guru, no secret formula will do the work for you. Either you step up and take control, or you stay exactly where you are. The choice is yours. Everybody wants success. Very few are willing to do what it takes to get there. The truth is, most people don't fail because they're not smart enough or talented enough. They fail because they quit too soon. People love the idea of success. They get excited about it, they start strong, but the moment things get hard, they start looking for a way out. They tell themselves, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I should try something else. That's why only a small percentage of people ever make it. The 99% want success until it gets uncomfortable. The 1% push through the discomfort. Look at anyone who has ever achieved something great. They've all been through moments where quitting seemed like the easier option. They've faced failure, rejection, and setbacks, but they kept going when others stopped. Success is a staircase. Most people stop climbing because their legs start to shake. The ones who reach the top are the ones who keep going even when it hurts. If you quit when things get tough, you were never really serious about success. This is the moment where you have to decide, are you just interested in success or are you committed? Because success doesn't come to those who try for a little while and then give up. It comes to those who refuse to quit no matter how many times they fall. Are you willing to push through, or will you be like everyone else who gave up? Because if you quit now, you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been. Motivation is a liar. It makes you feel good for a moment, but the second things get hard, it disappears. Most people wait for motivation to strike before they take action. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. But if you wait to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. The difference between winners and everyone else: winners don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. Motivation comes and goes. One day you feel unstoppable, the next day you don't even want to get out of bed. If you let motivation control you, your progress will always be inconsistent. Think about it like this: motivation is like a sugar rush. It gives you energy for a little while, but then it crashes. Discipline, on the other hand, is like proper nutrition. It keeps you strong over the long run. The most successful people in the world don't wake up every day feeling excited. They wake up and do the work anyway. They don't ask themselves, do I feel like it today? They know that's the wrong question. Instead, they ask, what needs to be done? And then they do it, no matter how they feel. If you want real results, stop waiting to feel inspired. Build habits, create a routine, train yourself to take action even when you don't want to. Because the real winners, they show up even when they don't feel like it. So from now on, stop chasing motivation. It's not what will get you to the top. What will? Showing up, doing the work, and refusing to quit. Let me tell you something that might be hard to hear. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to swoop in and hand you the life you want. No mentor, no guru, no secret shortcut is going to make success easy for you. And you know what? That's the best news you'll ever hear. Because the moment you realize that everything is in your hands, you take back control. Most people stay stuck because they're waiting. They're waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for a lucky break. But waiting is just another word for wasting time. The people who win in life, they don't wait. They don't hope that someone will come along and fix things for them. They get up and start fighting for what they want. Look around. The world doesn't stop moving just because you feel stuck. Life isn't going to pause until you figure things out. Either you take charge or you watch others pass you by. People love to blame their problems on someone else. They blame their past, their parents, their boss, the economy, their circumstances. But let's be real. You can spend your whole life blaming everything around you. Or you can decide to take ownership. Blame feels good in the moment because it lets you off the hook. But in the long run, it's a trap. It keeps you small. It keeps you powerless. It keeps you from doing the one thing that could actually change your life, taking responsibility. Think about it. The most successful people in the world didn't start with perfect conditions. They weren't handed golden opportunities. Most of them started with nothing. But instead of blaming their circumstances, they owned their future. They refused to let their past define them. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She didn't come from wealth or privilege. She faced challenges most people couldn't imagine. But instead of blaming her situation, she built something great. Not because someone saved her, but because she saved herself. Now ask yourself, are you fighting for your future, or are you waiting to be rescued? Life is a battlefield. Some people sit in the trenches, hoping someone will pull them out. Others grab whatever weapon they can find and start fighting. What kind of person are you going to be? You might be thinking, but what about mentors? What about learning from people who have already made it? Yes, learning from others is valuable, but no one can do the work for you. No mentor, no guru, no book, no seminar will change your life unless you take action. Too many people spend their time searching for the perfect advice, the perfect system, the perfect plan. But success isn't about finding the right strategy. It's about doing the work. The truth is, there is no perfect plan. The only way to win is to start, to fail, to learn, to adjust, to keep going. So are you ready to stop waiting and start owning your future? Because this is the moment where you decide. The victim mindset keeps you trapped. It makes you believe that life is happening to you instead of being shaped by you. It keeps you small. It keeps you weak. But the moment you shift your mindset from victim to victor, everything changes. A victor doesn't sit around feeling sorry for themselves. A victor looks at their situation and says, what can I do right now to change this? A victor doesn't wait for permission. They don't wait for luck. They don't wait for help. They get up and take action, no matter how small. This isn't about pretending your struggles don't exist. It's about refusing to let them define you. It's about refusing to let them stop you. Your future is in your hands. That means you get to decide what happens next. Not your past, not your circumstances, not anyone else, just you. So, what are you going to do about it? Everybody wants success. Everybody wants to live on their own terms, have financial freedom, and achieve their dreams. But let me tell you the truth, almost no one is willing to do what it takes. That's why most people fail. It's not because they aren't smart enough or talented enough. It's because when success demands more from them, they walk away. Success isn't easy. It will test you in ways you never expected. It will push you to your limits. It will demand sacrifices. It will take longer than you thought. And most people, they can't handle that. They get excited at the start. They set big goals. They talk about their dreams. But the second it gets hard, the second they hit a roadblock, they give up. You've seen it before. Someone starts a business, and when the first few months are slow, they quit. Someone starts going to the gym, but when they don't see results right away, they quit. Someone chases a dream, but the moment they face rejection, they quit. This is why the 99% never break through. Because they love the idea of success, but they don't love the work. They don't love the process. They just want the result. The 1%, the people who actually make it, they think differently. They don't see obstacles as reasons to stop. They see them as tests, and they refuse to fail that test. They know that pain, failure, and rejection are part of the journey. They don't expect success to be handed to them. They expect to earn it. Look at any successful person you admire. They've been through it all. They've been doubted. They've been told no. They've made mistakes, but they kept going. That's the difference. That's the mindset shift that separates those who win from those who don't. Think of success like a staircase. Everybody starts at the bottom, looking up. The first few steps are easy. You're motivated. You feel excited. But as you climb higher, your legs start to burn. You start to feel tired. And this is where most people stop. They look at how far they still have to go, and they convince themselves it's not worth it. They turn around, they go back down. But the people who make it, they push through. They climb when they don't feel like it. They climb when no one is watching. They climb when every part of them is screaming to quit, because they know that the top is only for those who refuse to stop. So let me ask you, are you willing to keep climbing when it gets hard? Or are you going to be like everybody else who quits the moment things stop being easy? Because here's the brutal truth. If you quit, you were never really serious. If you give up when things get tough, then success wasn't really what you wanted. You wanted comfort. You wanted convenience. You wanted an easy way out. And guess what? There isn't one. The winners, they choose commitment over convenience. They keep going when they don't feel motivated. They keep going when they fail. They keep going when they're exhausted. Because quitting is not an option for them. So now it's your turn. What are you going to do? Are you going to be like the 99%, the people who dream but never do? Or are you going to be the 1%, the ones who show up, put in the work and refuse to quit? Because if you're serious about success, then quitting is off the table. You don't stop when it's hard. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you win. Motivation feels good. It's exciting, it's powerful. And for a moment it makes you feel like you can do anything. But let me tell you the harsh truth. Motivation is a liar. It will get you hyped up, make you feel unstoppable, and then disappear the second things get hard. That's why most people never reach their goals. They rely on motivation to get them started, but when it fades, they stop. Think about it. How many times have you felt inspired to make a change? Maybe you decided to start waking up early, go to the gym, or finally take your dreams seriously, and for the first few days it felt amazing. You were on fire. But then life happened. You got tired, you got busy, and suddenly all that excitement was gone. That's the problem. If you need motivation to work, you've already lost. Because motivation isn't always going to be there. It comes and goes like a wave. And if your success depends on a feeling, then what happens when that feeling disappears? Successful people don't trust motivation. They don't wait until they feel like working. They don't rely on hype or inspiration. They rely on something much stronger, discipline. Discipline is what makes you show up when you're tired. It's what makes you push forward when you don't feel like it. It's what separates the people who actually succeed from the people who just talk about success. Think of motivation like a sugar rush. It gives you energy for a little while, but then it wears off and you crash. Discipline, on the other hand, is real fuel. It doesn't give you quick highs, it gives you long-term power. The people who win in life are the ones who train themselves to do the work no matter what. Let's be real. There will be days when you don't feel like getting up early. There will be days when you don't feel like pushing through. But those are the days that define you, because anybody can work when they feel good. That's easy. The real test is whether you can keep going when everything in you wants to stop. The secret weapon of the unstoppable is simple. They don't let feelings control their actions. They don't chase motivation, they chase results. They know that every action, every choice, every sacrifice adds up, and they don't stop just because they're tired or uninspired. So what about you? Are you going to keep waiting for motivation to strike, or are you going to build the discipline to show up every single day, no matter what? Because the truth is, the people who win are not the ones who always feel motivated. They're the ones who get up, put in the work, and keep going, no matter how they feel. Pain is not your enemy. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to build you. The truth is, every great success story starts with struggle. The people who achieve the impossible aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who faced pain, stood in the fire, and refused to break. Look at history. The greatest leaders, the strongest warriors, the most successful people in the world, all of them have one thing in common. They suffered, they failed, they went through moments where everything in them wanted to quit, but instead of letting pain defeat them, they used it as fuel. Think about a diamond. It starts as a worthless piece of carbon, nothing special, but when you put it under intense heat and pressure, it transforms. It becomes one of the hardest, most valuable materials on earth. The same thing happens to you. Pain is your fire. Struggle is your pressure. It's testing you, shaping you, refining you. The question is, will you let it break you, or will you let it make you unstoppable? Most people run from pain. The moment life gets hard, they look for an escape. They numb themselves with distractions. They blame circumstances. They wish for an easier path. But that's why most people never reach their full potential. Because growth isn't found in comfort. Strength isn't built when things are easy. It's built when everything is against you and you push forward anyway. The two choices are simple. You can let pain make you weaker, or you can let it make you stronger. The difference between the weak and the strong isn't talent. It's not intelligence. It's the decision to keep going when most people stop. Think about the toughest moments of your life. The times when you felt like you couldn't take another step. The times when it seemed like everything was falling apart. Did those moments break you, or did they make you better? Because every time you survive hardship, you become stronger. Every time you endure pain, you gain power. Pain is the ultimate advantage. It forces you to adapt. It forces you to grow. It forces you to find strength you never knew you had. The people who embrace struggle, who see it as an opportunity instead of a setback. Those are the people who rise. Those are the people who win. So the next time you're faced with pain, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this teaching me?" Because every struggle has a lesson. Every hardship is a chance to become better. The strongest people aren't the ones who avoided pain. They're the ones who faced it, embraced it, and turned it into their greatest weapon. Your struggles are not stopping you. They are preparing you. Every challenge, every setback, every failure, it's all part of the process. The question is, will you trust it? Will you use your pain to push forward, or will you let it hold you back? Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Let pain break you, or let it build you. Let struggle stop you, or let it turn you into something unstoppable. The path to success is not easy. It's not comfortable. But if you're willing to face the fire, if you're willing to endure the pressure, then nothing can stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be. Most people think that working harder is the key to success. They fill their days with endless tasks, jumping from one thing to the next, always busy, always in motion. But here's the truth. Most of what you're doing right now isn't actually moving you forward. You're confusing activity with progress. You're mistaking being busy for being effective. And that's exactly why you're stuck. There's a principle called the 80-20th rule, and it changes everything. It states that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. This applies to everything: your work, your health, your relationships, your success. A small handful of actions are responsible for the biggest impact. But instead of focusing on those high-impact actions, most people waste time on things that don't matter. They chase distractions. They do what feels urgent instead of what's truly important. And then they wonder why they're exhausted, but not getting anywhere. Success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about identifying that 20% of actions that bring 80% of your results and cutting out the rest. Imagine you're a sniper, not someone wildly firing shots in every direction. A sniper focuses on one clear target. They take their time, line up their shot, and hit their mark with precision. That's how you win. That's how you build something real. Look at the people who are struggling right now. They wake up every day, rush into tasks, check emails, scroll through their phones, jump from one project to another, but at the end of the day, nothing has really changed. They're drowning in distractions. They're caught in a cycle of meaningless work that feels productive but leads nowhere. High achievers do the opposite. They strip away the unnecessary. They focus only on what truly moves them forward. The difference between success and failure isn't effort, it's focus. If you want to win, you have to get ruthless about how you spend your time. You have to stop being available for everything. Stop responding to every little distraction. Stop chasing every new opportunity that pops up. Learn to say no. Learn to cut the noise. Because every minute you spend on things that don't matter is a minute you're stealing from what actually does. So what are the biggest time wasters keeping you stuck? Constantly checking your phone, saying yes to every request, multitasking and never really finishing anything, chasing perfection instead of progress? These habits drain your energy and keep you spinning in place. If you want to break free, you need to start making better choices. Every single day, ask yourself, is this action leading me closer to my goal, or is it just keeping me busy? If it's not moving the needle, cut it. The next step is identifying your 20%. What are the actions that bring the biggest results in your life? If you're trying to grow your business, what's actually bringing in customers? If you're trying to get in shape, what workouts and habits are making the biggest difference? If you're trying to improve your life, what decisions have had the biggest impact so far? Once you find those key actions, double down on them. Stop wasting energy on things that don't matter and start investing more into what actually works. This is the shortcut that separates the winners from the ones who stay stuck. It's not about working harder. It's not about grinding endlessly without direction. It's about being smart. It's about focusing on what truly moves the needle. Most people will never do this. They'll stay distracted. They'll keep chasing things that don't matter. But if you're serious about leveling up, then you have to make a choice right now. Will you keep being busy, or will you start being effective? Will you keep doing what's easy, or will you focus on what actually brings results? Because at the end of the day, the people who win aren't the ones who do the most. They're the ones who do what matters most. Everyone has a reason why they can't do something. A reason why today isn't the right time. A reason why the odds are stacked against them. Excuses feel good because they take weight off your shoulders. They let you believe that it's not your fault, that something outside of you is keeping you from moving forward. But let me tell you something. Excuses might make you feel better in the moment, but they will never change your reality. They don't build success. They don't create results. They don't get you anywhere. It's time for a reality check. Yes, your problems are real. Maybe you've been dealt a tough hand. Maybe you've faced setbacks that others haven't, but the world still doesn't care. Harsh? Maybe, but it's the truth. Life doesn't stop and wait for you to figure things out. It keeps moving. The question is, are you moving with it, or are you staying stuck, hoping someone will come along and make things easier? Success doesn't reward effort, it rewards action. There's a difference. Effort is trying, action is doing. Too many people get caught up in the idea that as long as they're trying, they deserve results. But life doesn't work that way. You don't get points for almost making it. You don't get rewarded for wanting something. You either do it or you don't. There's no in between. Think about sports. Think about a scoreboard. No one cares how close a team came to winning. No one remembers the shots they almost made. They remember the final score. The same applies to life. You can either be the person who talks about what they almost did, or you can be the person who puts in the work and actually wins. Stop seeking sympathy. Stop waiting for someone to pat you on the back and tell you it's okay to quit, because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to fight your battles for you. No one is going to hand you success just because you've struggled. The only thing that matters is what you do next. So how do you kill the excuses that are keeping you stuck? The first step is recognizing them for what they are. Lies. Every time you say, I don't have enough time, what you're really saying is, it's not important enough to me. Every time you say, I'll start when I'm ready, what you're really saying is, I'm scared to start now. Every excuse you make is a story you're telling yourself to justify why you're not where you want to be. And until you stop believing those stories, nothing will change. The second step is taking action before you feel ready. The truth is, you'll never feel ready. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be something standing in your way. But the people who win are the ones who move forward anyway. They don't wait for the perfect conditions. They don't wait until they have all the answers. They just start. And finally, you have to make a decision. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, are you going to keep making excuses, or are you going to step up and do what needs to be done? Because at the end of the day, success doesn't care how hard it is. It doesn't care how unfair your circumstances are. It only cares about one thing. Did you do the work or not? Everything you've heard up until this point, every hard truth, every uncomfortable realization means nothing if you don't act on it. Knowing what it takes isn't enough. You have to do something with it. Because at the end of the day, success isn't complicated. It's simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. The formula is right in front of you. Take responsibility. Show up even when you don't feel like it. Focus on what actually moves the needle. Push through pain instead of running from it. Kill the excuses that have kept you stuck. That's the path. That's the way forward. But only you can walk it. So here's the real question. Now that you know the truth, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to nod along, get fired up for a few minutes, and then go back to your old habits? Or are you going to take this as the moment everything changes? The moment you finally stop hesitating and start doing. Because here's what most people won't tell you. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to do the work for you. The opportunities you want, the life you dream of, the success you keep hoping will happen, it's all locked behind one simple reality. You have to earn it. The keys to the kingdom are yours. But no one is going to open the door for you. That's your job. That's your responsibility. And you can either take it seriously, or you can keep waiting, hoping, making excuses, and letting life pass you by. But let me be honest with you. If you're not taking action after this, you were never serious to begin with. You like the idea of success more than the reality of what it takes. Because the reality, it's tough, it's uncomfortable, it demands more from you than you think you have to give. But if you're willing to rise to that challenge, if you're willing to step up instead of stepping back, then everything changes. Your excuses end today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Because if you don't move now, you never will. That's how this works. You can't sit around waiting for motivation to hit. You can't keep telling yourself you'll start when the timing is right. The truth is, there is no perfect time. You just start. You start messy. You start unsure. You start without knowing everything. But you start. It's time to bet on yourself. Because no one else will. You can either be the person who looks back one day and says, I wish I had, or the person who says, I'm glad I did. That's the choice in front of you. And it's yours to make. This is your moment. No more hesitation. No more waiting for permission. No more wondering if you're capable. You already have everything you need. Now step up and make it happen.